Good afternoon, beautifuls. Happy Thursday. So this is going to be part 2 of my spiritual awakening journey. But before I start that, I'm going to give you a positive affirmation for the day. So let's go and see what this is. I hope you're all having a blessed, happy and loving week and that you're all well. So, positive affirmation message. I embrace the wisdom and insight that comes with growing older. So if you follow my page, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful for having you on here. I set this new page up because I just thought I'd keep it separate from my normal TikTok account. And this is all about the healed version of me and my spiritual awakening and my spiritual journey. So today's video is part 2 of the spiritual awakening journey. So yesterday, if you haven't seen the video, have a look at it. I finished on that I was being guided. But what I forgot to add on in there is while I was being guided and I was like really struggling with being at a loss and not knowing what direction to go, I felt really guided to get tarot and start reading tarot for myself. I have seen mediums and spirituals and everything before. It's something I've been heavily into since I was younger. I mean, not obviously going all the time, but I have seen quite a fair few since I was like 16 years old. I had no idea. I was like, how do I even read tarot? But I just need the cards. So I bought the tarot deck and I bought the book. Again, I do believe this was part of my spiritual awakening journey path. So these were the first deck I bought. And I used to use these every day, pull 3 cards for daily guidance, what I needed to know. And that really helped me get through, and I absolutely love doing that because there's no such better feeling than being able to give people a little bit of guidance and a little bit of positivity and hope when things are going tough for them. And just know that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. The ride might be a bit bumpy, but you'll get there in the end. So this is part 2. So as the weeks went on, my emotions was all over. Sometimes I was good. I just think things were starting to settle down and all be good. And then bam, something else would come up and I'd be like absolutely a bull to a red rag, triggered. Which is funny enough because I've got a bull's top on today. So that was a little quinky dink there, wasn't it? So yeah, really triggered all the time. And, I'm not going to blame my husband in the relationship because it takes 2. And I said some really bad, awful things, which I own, I accept, I've apologised for, and I forgive myself for it because now I've done the healing work on me. And I always feel like you get these like slow flows going and you think things are going to be good, and then whoosh, a big wave comes crashing in, and that is your ultimate tester moment to see if you've learned anything. So if you was like me, that would be triggered and kick off or argue. Not violent, but obviously I would be arguing or angry. Then I haven't learnt my lesson. So I just had to buckle up the seatbelt and sit on the bumpy ride and go with it. And I decided that my journey for me was, why do I keep getting hurt and betrayed by the people that are supposed to love and protect me the most? And it was just a repeat pattern all the time. And when I say all the time like that, I don't mean like every week there was issues, because me and my husband have been together now for over 25 years. And in the first 5 years of the relationship was really bumpy, and we had some really testing times. Everything was great, and then until last October. And then that was another scenario. And it was like, I honestly thought things were perfect. Like, the kids are older now. My son's 24 this year, and my daughter's just turned 18. And we was in a really good place, like going on holidays and everything, doing loads of stuff, socialising with our friends, just really good stuff because the kids are adults now. And this really swept me off my feet because I was like, didn't see it coming. I mean, when I say I didn't see it coming, I knew of the person, never suspected anything, but then something was like, yeah, there's something more to this. And as it turns out, apparently there wasn't more to it. I read more into it, but there was something to it. But that's another story. We don't need to be going down that road. That's over and done with. But that is what led me to my spiritual awakening. I am truly grateful for that, because without that, I might have been years down the line and never ploughed onto this. But I'm truly blessed to be on this journey. And things were just a repeating pattern. Like, I always seem to get hurt or betrayed by the people who I love the most, or that are supposed to love me the most as well. And then it started me asking questions to myself, like, why do I always give and not get nothing back? And why am I so triggered and angry all the time? Is it me? Am I unlovable? Am I unworthy? Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I'm not enough. Am I broken? These was all the things that was mulling around in my head. So then I think I'd started getting some crystals as well at that point. As you can see, I love all my bracelets and my crystals. I started getting crystals, and the funny thing was, it was a Secret Santa at work, and one of my work colleagues actually got me some crystals. And it became a standing joke, actually, that maybe because they could see the work that I was doing on myself, and they was like, maybe we need to come to your house for lessons off you. So obviously what I was doing on the internal was working, and it still works today. So then I started looking at my childhood issues, the house that I grew up in. Well, you know, what was my surroundings like when I was a child? And then I finally realised that I grew up in a domestic abuse household. I was not abused. I saw things that a child shouldn't see. I never felt safe. I felt unloved, unseen. Probably couldn't speak and say what I wanted to say or do, because is it the right thing to do or not? You know, taking into account when you're a 5-year-old child and you're in that environment. So it was my time to heal that 5-year-old little girl, Donna. So I went down the journey of doing that. So I decided that, obviously I was in that environment, and I'd already decided before I met Steve that when I had kids, we would not be arguing in front of the kids. We would tell the kids that we loved them every day, because I wanted the kids to be able to come and confide in us if they needed to and feel safe with us. So I kind of already started to break that cycle way before I've started this healing journey, because I was not projecting that onto my kids. And that is with like holding no shame, no judgment, because our parents only do what they do because it's probably a pattern that they picked up from their parenting. Now, obviously, I've been lucky and had my nana and granddad in my life until my nana passed away this year. So I've had a really good spell with my grandparents. Now, for me, my grandparents was amazing. They was, you know, always give love and safety to me. But that might not be been a thing for my mum and my auntie and uncle. I don't know. I don't know what their childhood was like. And the thing is, these are always repeat patterns from So you can't blame your parents, because they're only doing what they've maybe got childhood issues that they've not dealt with. So then it shows up in their parenting, and the cycle continues until someone decides to break the cycle. And I decided it was my turn, like now, because obviously, even though the kids have had a really good upbringing and me and Steve didn't never really argue, I'd probably say the worst time that they've seen the argument was my daughter, and that was probably last October, November. That is, and she was 17 then. So yeah, that was probably the first trauma she's ever seen, like, of me being an absolute red flag, triggered, angry, because again, something else come up. So I decided then, after this, it was time for me to heal my inner child. So for me, that was energy work, and I did energy chakra healing. And I read a book called It's Not You, It's Your Energy in July last year. And it was so good. And I've always been in tune with my energy and stuff, and people's energy. And it really explained quite a lot of stuff. And in there, she talks about the chakras and what each chakra means and stuff. So I decided to do a lot of, and she does like childhood trauma things or narcissistic behaviour and that sort of thing. So I decided to do the chakras because it was my time to heal me, because I am broken and I am lovable and I am enough and I am worthy. And now I accept me, who I am, and I'm standing in my true authentic self now. But obviously, in order to get to this point where I am now, I had to do the inner work. Now, people think that fixing the outside is the thing that you do, and it isn't. When you start fixing the internal and learn to love yourself and see yourself as a whole person and accept yourself, that's when things start shifting for you big time in a positive way. Because you just see that what people see or say about you is other people's perceptions. It isn't who you are. So I decided to, like I said, I decided to do the chakra healing. I still do it to this day. I show up for myself every day. And it was obviously going through all my chakras. And funnily enough, I got a tattoo on my arm, which actually represents all the chakras, which I only found out. It wasn't down as chakras when I saw it and got it. But then I'd seen a necklace and I was like, I'm sure that really looks like my chakra tattoo. So all the chakras are on me. So yeah, so I decided to do chakra work, which is like all the 7 chakras, and started to feel safe in my own body, because every trigger, I was living in fight or flight mode. So if anybody would speak at a certain tone, that was it. I was like, I'd get angry and rage at them, because that was like me feeling like I needed to be in survival mode. And so, like I said, I decided to heal them, and it's been a really, really good journey. I've really enjoyed it. And in my journey somewhere, so along with the chakra healing, she does Reiki, but obviously you've got your eyes shut because you don't, I didn't physically go to her for Reiki. It was an online thing, but I didn't even know what Reiki were. And one day, again, I was just sat in the living room and I was like, I'm going to do Reiki. I need to do Reiki. So in June this year, I did my level 1 Reiki, passed the course. I absolutely love Reiki, and it is incorporated. I do the Hatsure meditation every day, have done since revising for it, and past that, that is non-negotiable. So I meditate every day to keep me grounded, and sometimes I do a few different meditations, And I also, I'm more in tune with my emotions now. And I like to keep track of it. So now, when you've done the internal work, you have to still carry on showing up for yourself, because I could not go back to the Donna who I was last year. It's just, I can't do it. Like, it's not me. And it's about, you have to really go in and do the shadow work. And now, will I get triggered? Quite possibly I'll still get triggered. But guess what? I've learned to love my dark side with my light side, because it's who I am. And if that dark side ever gets triggered, then I ask myself, what lesson do I need to learn from this? Because love should be safe. You should feel safe and comfortable in your own home. You should be able to have vulnerable conversations without people taking it personally or getting defensive. But these are all things that I've learned on my journey, and I see things from other people's perspectives, and I also, I'm calm in situations now because I'm in track of my emotions. And yeah, it's just been a really good journey, and it's something that I'll continue to do every day. But like I say, it'll go, I always feel now that everything that gets thrown at me, so life's all good and it's going along, something comes along to try and provoke or trigger me, I ask myself, if I get triggered, what lesson did I need to learn from that? What emotion have I not dealt with? So for me, my spiritual awakening, and then when you do the internal work, I feel like you find your passions and your desires. So for me, is Reiki, Tarot. I've got a lot of other things going on in the background, you know, affirmations, oracle cards, giving it all from a place of love. And we're all one. We're just one big oneness. And not from a judgment thing, not from a shame thing. I give from a place of love and want everyone to heal themselves from childhood traumas. And it's hard, and not necessarily childhood traumas. There could be some really bad events that have gone on in your life that you want to heal from, and it is hard. But in order, you need to let them emotions surface, and you've got to feel them emotions again to let it go. And also, if it is anything to do with your childhood, you need to visualize that you're back in that scenario as that little child, and you need to hug your little inner child and make them feel safe and loved and all the rest of it, because that is the only way you heal your inner child. And I like energy work because I do feel like you release the energy to that as well, and the emotions to that, and balance your emotions. And I've also got Reiki 2 booked in for the later end of this year, which I can't wait, because I absolutely love Reiki. Just the feeling it gives me of being connected to source and being the conduits for it to let the energy flow, universal energy flow through the clients. I just love that. I just love that, and that they feel relaxed and get some calm time as well. So I hope this helps. I feel like it was maybe a little bit mumbo jumbo, and I don't want the video to go on too long because you'll probably get bored by it. But just know, if you're on your spiritual awakening journey or wherever you are in life, everybody's journey is different. It's unique to them, and everybody's journey is in different stages. So some might not have even begun the journey. Some might be way absolutely loving life. Some are in the midst of it. But just know there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll get there. But just please remember that, well, for me, like I say, anything that gets thrown at you that triggers you or whatever is, what do you need to learn from that lesson? Because it's an emotion that's getting resurfaced that needs to be felt in order to release it and let it go. I hope this video helps you, and I want you to have a blessed evening. Peace, love and light. Donna.